Hi there. So we've been having a lot of culture war stuff going on. Um, the transgender people trying to take over sports, right? It was back in the 1990s. I'm 59 now. It was in the 1980s and 90s. Occasionally, you'd have a woman wanting to play a guy's sport. Okay, fine. But that was just a one-off, not a big deal. Um, the girl, wasn't fitting in with the girls' softball team. She loved the game. She wanted to play baseball. She was good, so she wanted to play on the boys' team. There was a big uproar about it because, gender. And then she was allowed on, but that was like a one-off exception kind of thing. Not a big deal, let her play. All right, fine. But lately, it's become the opposite direction where you have these mediocre guys on the guys' sports team. And because of politics from the top, namely starting with basically this is depravity, immorality, just where people don't have ethics, they don't have morals, they don't have any kind of Christian upbringing. They're completely just do whatever you want to do kind of people. And since they're the ones making the laws, they're in Congress, they're the president. After Ronald Reagan, we had George Bush Sr., who was a CIA director. And then he went on to become the president, who went on to, the U.S. military marching in unilaterally into Iraq, stealing all of their stuff, oil, gold, and everything else they thought was valuable, just freaking taking it, taking it. Media just kind of ignoring it, and anybody who decided to expose anything, well, they got arrested. No, you're not going to tell anybody the truth. So it's always the yay patriotism narrative. And so that was Bush Sr. And then you had Clinton, who basically declared war against Christians and anybody who had any kind of ability to defend themselves. Oh, we're just going to march in with tanks and burn your building down and kill you all in a fiery inferno. That was the Waco massacre by the FBI and the ATF, authorized by Bill Clinton and Janet Reno. And it freaking happened, and it's always been suppressed. And you're not allowed to find out what really happened. Because, hey, you're not allowed to be told the truth. They're controlling the information that you get heard. It has to come from top down. The media is controlled by the state, the federal government, and the federal government decides what content you're allowed to see. That's why we have social media now. That's why we have Joe Rogan on there. And that's why you have a lot of these things, the whole cultural war going on. If we only had legacy media and we didn't have social media and all that stuff was stamped out and we didn't have the internet, we wouldn't know any different. We would think that we were alone and everybody else was on the TV side, because that's what they would be telling us. They'd be cherry picking, finding people, paying them off to lie for their interview to us, to pressure us and make us think that we're all alone and we're the only ones thinking something's wrong here. But now that we have social media, and now that we have X and some other social media that actually allows us to say what we want to say, like YouTube, now we can actually see, oh, I'm not crazy. There is something screwy going on, and we do have the right to say and to point out something isn't right here. And so now we know that we are not alone. And so thankfully, we are being allowed to talk to each other through the internet and, basically know that we're not crazy. And so hopefully this rights the ship so that we can push back against all of these depraved, immoral people that just want to cheat and fake and do whatever they want to do. So to keep this from being too terribly boring, I have some guitars here. I'm left-handed, and I have a SG, and I'm gonna play music every once in a while. I'm not gonna try to make you stay. I'm just gonna do this so I don't get bored myself. I have 4 tones. I have a Boss 2, Boss Katana 2, and I can download all these tones, and I can save 4 onto here, and I use a foot pedal to switch them. Here's a fun one I like. Yeah, I sometimes go for like an hour. I forget what time it is. I love these tones. I have some other ones. So no echo on that one. So that's Save My Life, I'm Going Down for the Last Time. Okay, well, this is a Pink Floyd tone. And the last one, oh, Van Halen one. I usually have to I like to pick up the treble side. So I just do it for fun. Obviously, you know, I'm not in a band or anything. I just find riffs and enjoy them. I write them down as I find them. So anyway, let me turn that down. Okay, so you work a job, you're full-time, you're in your 20s or 30s or 40s. You have an employer, and you have meetings, you have HR, you have your boss, and they come down and tell you, you know, what you're allowed to say, right? Now And obviously, white straight men are the evil of the world, apparently. And that's because of the politics from the federal government. They dictate what they want to happen as far as cultural influence. And so they discuss with corporations. So corporate CEOs actually have private discussions with lawmakers and the president, and they all agree on how they are going to exploit and indoctrinate the public, starting with public schools. Our kids secretly, behind our backs, if you're a parent, so you're at work doing a great job, paying the bills, doing everything you can to support your family, while at the same time, the state is teaching teachers and teaching school administrations to undermine your teaching, to get your kids to ignore you and to contempt you, teaching your kids that they are the ones that are right and your parents don't know what they're talking about, that you should agree with the teachers because they're the smart ones. They know what they're talking about. And you should agree with them, otherwise you won't get a good grade, right? And you have to agree with your teacher, because if you don't agree with your teacher, they're not going to give you a good grade. So you're always trying to make your teacher happy. You also have peer pressure. So the kids, you know, they want to be agreeable. They want peace because they're forced into these 30-person rooms, right? They don't want to get beat up between classes or in class. And so they try to keep the peace. And to keep the peace, they just don't say anything, right? And if they do say something, they say something agreeable so they don't get punched in the mouth by somebody who doesn't agree with them. Or sent to the office for saying something they're not allowed to say. Like, you know, black people suck. Or girls don't know what they're talking about. Something, you know, any kind of comment where supposedly you have freedom of speech, but if you say something that is not within the confines of the state, then you get punished for it. So you have public schools, you probably have private schools too, play the same game where it comes down from the top, and so all the teachers get indoctrinated or told, ordered, basically. You know, what they do is they use leverage. They blackmail you. So if you're an employer, if you're a private employer, you can probably get away with doing whatever the heck you want to do. But if you are getting federal money, if you're part of the sports, you know, like the NCAA, NFL, a lot of these organizations get money from the federal government. So they are influenced and pushed by the federal government and their agenda on what they're allowed to say. So whenever you hear that this is coming down from the administration, you can know that this is a whole agenda coming down from the federal government, through the state government, and into our public schools and all the cities. Typically, it's the big cities that push it the most. Smaller towns, they push back a lot more. Country folk push back a lot more. They don't like being told what to do. They're much more independent minded. So learn these words. There's blackmail, where I tell you, you have to agree with us or you'll lose your job. We will fire you if you say the wrong thing. And you have to sign this document agreeing, and if you refuse to sign, we're going to have to let you go. And you've seen all the emails that say, we hope he does well in his future endeavors. You've seen those emails. I've seen lots of them. Every time somebody leaves, their manager puts out that email to everybody and says, good luck in their future endeavors. We probably have all seen that. And we know that, well, that's another person who was somehow said something wrong to the wrong person, and retribution is goodbye and good luck. See you later. They didn't do anything wrong as far as their work ethic. They did a great job. They said something that wasn't politically correct. And so that's what's been going on, all this political correctness stuff. Public schools and a lot of employers. And you'll see these in the HR meetings, right? Or the administrative meetings where you have to agree to and sign off that you will submit and obey to whatever they say. You have to do, you know, you have to toe the line And if you don't, well, that's a reason to dismiss you or fire you, in effect. And so there's extortion, where they're leveraging money because you're dependent on that money, right? You need that money to pay your bills. If you were independently wealthy, if you had $14 million in the bank, if you had revenue streams of $20,000 a week, you would not need your job. You could tell your employer to go F off, and you'd immediately quit and laugh in their face, right? But because you need that money and they know it, they leverage that and they use it as a way to extort you, to take away your legal constitutional rights, from freedom of speech to doing things you know are immoral and unethical, screwing over people, lying to customers, cheating, changing things around, basically just obeying and doing whatever your employer says in order to keep your job. And by doing that, you lose your soul. And that's your choice. And they force this choice upon you. You either keep your integrity and lose your job, or you lose your integrity and you keep your job. So you're rewarded for doing something unethical and immoral, and you're punished for doing the right thing. And that's the big problem in America today. From public schools to our employers, they are rewarding you for being an evil person, and you're being punished and thrown out into the wild for doing the right thing. So the goal now is, okay, how do we get the good people that have their integrity? How do we reward them? And how do we unify against these evil employers leveraging their employment to get them to do immoral activity and to basically say lies, with the whole he, she pronoun thing, to the blatant racism against the entire white race, and definitely specifically against straight white men. It's like, you can be anything else, but if you're a straight white man, we hate you and we welcome you to leave, because we do not give a damn. Because we are gay, lesbian, black women, Hispanic women, and we're minorities, and we're victims, and we deserve better, and we need to be empowered, and we're sick of the pale, stale male. Remember that? Yeah, that bullcrap. And they're all kind of coming together like a big gang against white straight men, as if they have all the power. And they don't have all the power. They're just sitting there along with everybody else trying to make a living, and yet somehow they're allowed to be targeted and insulted and smeared, and it's not right. It's just not right. And if anybody has integrity, they'll stand up for good people, okay? It won't be about race at all. It'll be about doing the right thing. But if you don't have money, if you don't have a job, what do? You start your own company. My son started his own company. He's doing just fine. And you can do that too. Thousands, millions of people started their own companies, and they got rich doing it, okay? And you don't even have to get rich. You just need to push back, get strong, get a plan, and you have to step out of your comfort zone of just doing whatever you're told. You have to become strong and find other people so you can all unify and encourage each other and work together to, you can do YouTube channels, start your own company. It can be an online company. You can provide a service. You can learn a skill. You can get employed by a private company, learn that skill, do it well, and then start your own company using that skill. Especially if it's a service where you're doing electrician work, or spray foam, or cement work, whatever you want to do to make money. But you have to be able to make money, obviously, to pay the bills, right? But you need to do that without compromising your integrity. And so be thinking about that. Come up with a plan, write down some thoughts, and talk to some other people about that. Find other people that have their integrity, think independently, and have a moral compass. Look up ethics, what that all includes. Learn how to be honest with yourself and honest with others. Learn how to stand up for yourself, because you are a good person. You have the right to stand up for yourself. You do not have to cower to all these bullies at your employment. Okay, come up with a plan, and once you have your plan, get that plan going. Start your private company going, even while you're employed still. Okay, just lay low, stay quiet, start your company, and once you get some jobs coming in, you can put in your 2 weeks resignation, and that's it. And you'll be glad you did. Now you can work full time on your new company. You start getting more and more orders. You start doing more and more jobs. You start getting plenty of money coming in, and you realize, wow, I could have done this a long time ago. And it's true, you could have. Now you don't have to compromise your integrity. You can actually advocate morality and ethics to your employees if you get any, to your customers. You can kind of talk with them and discuss ethical issues. Gain friends doing that. Get more jobs just because they know that you're a decent person. It matters. It matters that you're honest and you have integrity and you're doing the right thing and you stand up for morality. All right. So I'll do one more little thing with my guitar, and I'm going to be tired. So I think that's it for my talking. We'll just do some guitar stuff and we're done. Camp. I need a lover who won't blow my cover. What else we got? Maybe that's like Evil Woman or some shit like that. Anyway, what else? Oh, I love this one. Ugly Kid Joe. Yeah. So, okay. I'm done for now. Woo. Hope you enjoyed. I'll try this again probably in a month.